Hello friends, and welcome back to Everyday Cooking with Mum and me. Today we are going to be making an Amritsari Aloo Kulcha. Amritsari Aloo Kulcha is a crispy and soft flatbread that has a buttery texture. It is generally prepared over a tandoor, but today I'm going to show you how to make it on a stovetop. It's best served with chole or raita by the side. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started! So for our Amritsari Kulcha, we will need 500 grams of plain flour, 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds, half a teaspoon of kalonji, also known as nigella seeds, half a teaspoon of amchur powder, also known as dry mango powder, half a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of dry plain flour, 4 to 5 tablespoons of butter, 2 big potatoes, 1 bowl of plain yogurt, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, 1 tablespoon of a garlic paste, 1 teaspoon of a mix of whole coriander seeds, cumin seeds and black peppercorn, 20 grams of fresh coriander which is finely chopped, 1 cup of chopped spring onion, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and 4 to 5 tablespoons of oil. We're going to start off by making our dough, and for that we're going to add in our baking powder, salt, plain yogurt and 2 tablespoons of our oil into our 500 grams of plain flour, and then we're going to mix it well. So once you've mixed it well like this, we're going to add in some water. We're going to do this a little bit at a time, and then we're going to mix the water in, and this will help us combine all of our ingredients together to make a dough. So now we have mixed it well and it's starting to bring all of the ingredients together. We're going to add in a little bit of oil, and then we're going to knead our dough to make it look like a dough, and then we're going to cover it and let it rest for around 30 minutes. So we're just going to knead it like this until we've got a nice, smooth, soft dough. If you like our videos, then please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more amazing recipes. Now we're going to cover this dough and leave it aside for around 30 minutes, then we're going to start cooking. Before we start making the potato filling for our kulcha, we're going to dry roast our mix of whole coriander seeds, cumin seeds and black peppercorn. We're just going to dry roast this for a couple of minutes. We're going to start to make our filling, and for that we're going to add in our 1 tablespoon of garlic paste, 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, half a teaspoon of amchur powder, also known as dry mango powder, our salt, our 1 cup of chopped spring onion, Then we're going to add in half of our fresh coriander leaves, and we're going to leave half for garnishing at the end. And then we're going to mix this well. We've used quite a lot of garlic in this recipe because we like garlic in our kulchas and parathas, but it's totally up to you. You could use ginger instead of garlic, or you could use a little bit less of garlic. Add in our 2 big potatoes. We're just going to smash them using our hands like this. And then we're just going to mix the potatoes in to make a nice filling. You could also add in some black pepper powder instead of red chili powder to make your kulcha a little bit less spicy. We're also going to add in around 1 tablespoon of plain flour just as a binding agent to bind all the ingredients together. We are going to take the dry spices, which we have dry roasted for around a couple of minutes, and then we are going to crush them. This step is very important because if you crush spices which have been dry roasted, it gives out a lot of flavour and also some texture as well, and it's much more flavourful from the spices they were before because we've dry roasted them. And then when you crush them, it lets out all of the flavour. So we're going to add some of this into our mixture. And then we're going to save some for garnishing at the end. So we've let our dough rest for around half an hour. And as you can see now, it's really easy to handle. What we're going to do is we're going to take it out on our wooden chopping board. And we're just going to knead it a little bit. So now we're going to sprinkle some of our plain flour and then knead it well. Now we're going to spread our kulcha out using a rolling pin, and then we're going to dust it again with some of our plain flour. Now we're going to take our butter and we're just going to spread it out on our kulcha dough like this. This is going to add some nice flavour to our Amritsari potato kulcha. Then we're going to fold it over. Just neaten it up a little bit. And then we're going to spread it out a little bit again. Then we're going to roll it out to get a nice even base. We're going to dust it again with some of our flour and add another layer of butter. You can just use your hands to spread it out as it's easier. We're going to tidy it up again, fold it, just take the sides and squish them together in the middle. And then you can just give it a little bit of a roll. So now that we've got this, as it's nice and even, and they've all got around the same amount of butter in, we're just going to cut them up into equal parts like this. This is the size you should be getting. And then what we're going to do is just knead it in your hands a little bit and then roll it to make a ball. Repeat the process for all of our dough. So now we're going to place our dough ball in our dry flour. And then we're just going to give it a little spread around. If you want, you can use a little bit more flour, but our dough needs to be this loose. Otherwise, instead of a kulcha, you might end up with some rotis instead. Now we are going to take a little bit of our filling, which we had made earlier. And then we're just going to take the sides of our dough and just push them into the middle like this. Make sure you don't leave any gaps for the filling to come out. And we'll just make a little bundle of this dough at the bottom. And we'll just do this and cover it with some dry flour. Then we're going to roll it out. When you're rolling it out, you have to be very careful that the filling doesn't come out of the dough. So you have to be gentle. And then when you think that you've got a good size, you can just pat it out a little bit. And then we're going to take a little bit of water into our hands, not too much, that our dough goes all soggy again. And just a little bit, and we're going to rub it on the top. Then we're going to sprinkle in our whole coriander seeds, cumin seeds and black peppercorn. And then we're going to sprinkle in our nigella seeds. And we'll also sprinkle on our fresh coriander. And we'll just pat it on top so it doesn't fall off and it sticks to the dough. Now we can start cooking it. We are going to be using this black tawa to cook our kulchas on. We need to make sure that it's nicely heated up before we put our tandoori kulcha on. And now that it has heated up, we're going to put it on. So we've got the kulcha that we prepared earlier, and we're just going to place it onto our left hand like this. Then we're going to apply a good amount of water onto it. And we're just going to place it on. We applied water so that we know that it will stick to the tawa nicely, and we'll just press it down a little bit. Keep your flame on low to medium, and then we're going to just let this cook for around 2 minutes. Now we can see some nice bubbles coming up on our kulcha. This means it's cooked from the bottom. And now what we're going to do is we're going to flip our tawa and we're going to cook it like this. This will take around 2 minutes, so you just have to be patient and just keep checking on it and keep rotating it like this, just moving it around. This will give you the nice restaurant style tandoor flavor, and it'll look really nice as well. So as you can see, it's starting to cook now, and for this our flame needs to be on high so it reaches the kulcha. So now it's cooked and it looks really delicious. We're going to just use this to take off all the borders and then take our kulcha off. So as you can see, it's nicely cooked from both sides now. We're just going to do this for the rest of our kulchas, and we're going to apply some butter on it. You can apply ghee as well, it's entirely your choice. So we're going to do this for the rest of our kulchas, and then it's time for plating. If you like this recipe, then please don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, share with friends and family, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more amazing videos. Bye for now, thanks for watching, happy cooking!